Before I get going here, I've got a number of slides I want to get through, save a little time at the end for some questions. And first off, I want to introduce, just spend first couple minutes talking about Gate Group. So let me just give you a little background on Gate Group and what we do. We work really as part of the airline industry. That's how we make our bread and butter. Really great. Gate Group is made up of 9 brands, all of which are associated with providing services to the airlines. And we are a publicly traded company on the Swiss Stock Exchange. Our global we are a global company. Our headquarters is in Zurich, Switzerland. And our North American headquarters is really about a mile down the road here, right off of Campus Commons Drive. So we are local here. But as I mentioned, we're 9 different companies. Gate Gourmet is really our largest brand. And for any of you that spend any time on airplanes, I'm sure you have eaten our food for better or for worse. If you didn't like it, it was probably one of our competitors, no doubt. But Gate Gourmet is the biggest, and we also do a lot of other services for the airlines. We do logistics. We do all of Delta's supply and logistics for them. We do everything from production. We have a factory in Hoogstraat in Belgium that makes cups and saucers and swizzle sticks and all kinds of stuff made out of plastic that you've probably seen on one airlines or another. We also have a complete software company. So a lot of the buy on board, the point of sale systems now that they're using on airplanes, a lot of that software our eGate Solutions company developed. So we get into a little of everything. We are located around the world, and this is really kind of the interesting tale of the tape here. We're on 6 continents. The world is getting bigger, yeah. 32 countries, we have 128 locations, 163 facilities, 270 plus customers, and the airlines are our customers. 27,000 employees, so we got a lot of people out there. 300 plus million passengers serviced every year. We are about a $3.5 billion revenue Swiss franc company. So that's enough about, anyway, you can kind of see where we are here. We have a lot in the Americas. We have a lot of our locations, a lot of Central Europe. Nothing in the USSR, although we do have a joint venture we just started in Kazakhstan. And we have a number of locations in India and, of course, Asia Pacific. So these are our customers, a lot of our customers here, and obviously not 270, but you can see we service the largest customers out there and also some of the low-cost carriers in a number of locations. So you can see we've got a good mix there and around the world. Okay, enough about Gate. Let's talk a little bit about our journey with Zurion. And it was interesting to hear Z talk about kind of the evolution of the product and of the company. We weren't there at the very beginning, but I think we were there relatively early. Really, in August of 2010, we started our iFormBuilder journey with Zurion. And this really started out as pretty much of a skunkworks. This was an IT skunkworks that we started kind of off the radar screen. Gate is pretty sensitive about new technologies being injected into our enterprise. And so we started this one pretty much off the radar screen. And one of the earliest things we did was we realized that before we started to put a lot of Apple devices out in the field, which we were not an Apple company. We were primarily, we're PC-based, IBM PC-based. We were BlackBerry out there for our mobile devices. We really had no Apple out in the field. And 2010 is really when the iPad hit the airways, and so we realized we needed to have a way to manage all these new Apple devices we were putting out in the field. And so we got some references from you guys, from Zurion, and we went to AirWatch. And AirWatch is now our MDM solution for everything Apple we put out in the field, regardless of whether we use it for the mobile data collector platform or not. It's got AirWatch on it. So we solved that one very early on. We did our first proof of concept in Chicago and in London Heathrow in 2011. We moved our first forms into production in 2012. And then also in 2012, we worked very closely with Chris and Z and the team, and we decided to do our own branding and do our own white box solution for Gate, and really that was the beginning of the mobile data collector. And we did our own branding, we did our own logos, we did our own tagline, we did our own logo wear for the field. We got baseball caps that the guys out on the ramp wear, and so that was really the beginning of this mobile data collector official journey. It's part of our Gate Global Excellence program. So we have a Global Excellence program that we run in all our flight kitchens. It's a certification program, and if you're in the program, you're using the mobile data collector. It's a pull through to the program. A lot of the audits, a lot of the forms are done for Gate OpEx are done on the MDC. June of 2013, we took a very interesting turn here because as you can imagine, when you're in the food industry, taking quality control, ensuring that the products that we eat when we're on the airplanes are safe. We have to ensure that as we go through the manufacturing process, from the time it comes in the door to the time it gets loaded onto the airplane, that the products are safe. And so we're taking temperatures of those products through that entire process. And so we decided early on that the reams and buildings full of paper that we fill by people manually writing down temperatures for various products, we needed a solution for that to get rid of the paper. And so the MDC was a natural solution for that, but we needed a way to capture the temperatures. And so we found a company called ETI out of London, which, by the way, we had already been doing business with, buying thermometers and temperature devices. They had a Bluetooth device called BlueTherm, and so we went and got them onto the table. We got Tony and his team to the table, and we got their APIs integrated into our mobile data collector platform, or not into ours because it's in everybody's platform now. And now we are working very hard to integrate that, that process into into the mobile data collector platform. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. In March of last year, we went over 40,000 forms a month, which for us was a big number. I know for some of the Zurion customers, that's a pretty small number. For us, that was pretty big.
No, that's good.
Well, in July we moved to unlimited license. I got tired of trying to keep track of who was using what in the admin panel, so we finally just said, screw it, we're just going to jump off the deep end here. We got the unlimited license now, so I don't have to keep track of who's doing what. Okay, this should look familiar because I pilfered this off of Ryan's presentation from last year. But I liked it. Yeah. So I thought it really showed where we were and where I think we are in our journey. And this is just my own 2 cents. We aren't to the panacea yet. We aren't at the redefinition stage. But clearly, I think we are going to get there eventually. We're somewhere in between the two, and I know with Zurion's help, we're going to continue our journey. This is what our platform looks like there, and it's nothing unique here. One of the things we do is we do bring all the data down in almost real time, and we replicate the Zurion database in our Global Technology Center, which is SunGard hosts for us. And then we do have created a number of interfaces to a couple of our other global application platforms, HR and our ERP system. And we've also created our own reporting site that we did very early on. You see it over here, which we use Crystal Reports to take the reams of data that we now can generate very quickly and do custom reporting on it. So not every form, every suite of form out there has custom reports, but clearly some of them do, and so that's been our solution up until now to try to handle the reporting requirements. Okay, a couple things real quickly. This is a game changer for us, and here are a few pictures, and I've got a few more of the mobile data collector being used out in the field and in some of our flight kitchens. Whoa, I just knocked the thing off my belt here. In fact, I just got so excited. Let me get put back together here. Let's try this again. Okay. This was a game changer for us. Clearly, it's a global solution that we can quickly roll out really anywhere in the world without adding a lot of infrastructure, which is very important for us. It meets our Go Green targets for Gate. It's real time, it's multilingual. Clearly that was an issue for us because, and really one of some of the enhancements that you've added along the way to make it easier to do things in a lot of different languages. We do a lot of our forms in 6 different languages now. Scalability was a big issue here again. We can scale this from 1 to 1 million without adding infrastructure. It was high ROI and really a low cost. And we consider this one, compared to some of the other ERP platforms we put out in the field, we consider this modest, very modest in cost. It's really been the foundation for our global mobility strategy. And none of our other competitors out in the field have a platform like this. Here's just some quick facts. Last year we did over 500,000 global forms on the platform. We're using it in 17 countries, 88 locations, and have right around 1,000 users on the platform. So we're continuing to grow the platform. Let me just quickly go through these. These are, I think, one of the things that people are surprised about when we talk about the platform is really the breadth and of solutions that we've been able to put together. The amount of different categories of forms that we've been able to put out in the field. We have operational excellence forms that we put out. Our food safety now, all of our certifications and inspections are done using the MDC. Ramp safety, as you guys can imagine, when you've got little trucks and people all over the ramp loading food into airplanes, safety is a big deal. Plus safety for the airplanes. Let me tell you, if you hit an airplane with a truck, that really doesn't go over very well. It's a bad thing. And so we go to great lengths to ensure that our people are trained properly, that they're audited properly, and we use the mobile data collector out on the ramps to monitor and fill out questionnaires on how our employees are doing as it relates to safety. Culinary excellence. Obviously we have our own chefs, we have our own executive chefs in our flight kitchens, and all the time they're inspecting our food. And here again, we use the camera, and we have a couple pictures of that right there as we go through the cooking process to actually take pictures of the meals and of the products and the trays that we're putting together to go out on the airplane. So we use the camera and the mobile data collector to do that. We've got HR related forms that we have put together, and we have a lot of operational forms, and they're kind of the one-offs that we do for a particular customer. or a particular unit out in the field or country, whether it's Brazil, whether it's Virgin Australia, we've used the MDC as solutions for that. So, you know, to say that it's flexible for us is really an understatement, because clearly we've covered a large category of things with the mobile data collector so far. And we've got really a long way to go. Very early on, the administration of the platform was an issue for us. Clearly, to add new users and assign forms to new users, we needed a solution to do that, because internally we have really no assets allocated to supporting this platform other than me. And I do other things too. So very early on, we had to come up with a way to do that. We did a SharePoint site. We had our own SharePoint team put together a SharePoint site now that our users access. It has information about the platform, but they also use it to request user IDs and request access to forms. And then we use the Zurion APIs on the back end to automate that process. So this was a very important add for us. The reporting site, which I also mentioned, which is Crystal Reports. We have offshore people now that are doing our reports for us. Far from eloquent, but this is as best as we've come up with so far. Peripherals. We've used a lot of the standard peripherals that Zurion has partnered with. For the Linea Pro we have used in the past, and we have out there now. We have used, this is the ETI product, the Blue Therm product. This is the probe for sticking in meat to capture the temperatures there. Over on the right, we have the infrared device that they just came out with. This is our big push right now. It's also amazing to me the amount of times I've gotten on airplanes with the probe in my carry-on luggage. It's just amazing. But I've been all over the world and with carrying those probes around and never once got stopped in security. So go figure that one. But this is a big push for us. This is Bluetooth. We take the information coming off here and inject it right into our forms. We have other different solutions that the flight kitchens have come up with to keep the security. Security is a big issue for us. And I got to tell you, we've had a lot of things walk out the door. We've had a lot of iPod touches. We originally put out in the field iPads, iPhones, and it's been a problem. So some of the flight kitchens have actually done this, where they will go out and get a off-the-shelf solution, a cabinet where they put the iPads and you can see one of our probes there. This is out of our Dublin flight kitchen, and then they lock them up at night, and then when the next shift comes on the next morning, they will go ahead and issue it out again. So we hate to have to do that, but when you have as many employees as we do, it's not hard for things to get lost. Okay. So let's take a little tour here. This is our Lima down in Lima, Peru. We're doing inspections on trolleys. I know you've all seen those as they get ready to head out to the flight line. We're using it here in Barcelona. Actually, some of our executive chefs down there are using it. Here's another one. This is right here in Dulles. This is our culinary excellence team actually using the camera to take shots of of some of the food in production. This is actually in the back, looking into one of our high loaders as we're moving the trolleys into the high loaders as they get ready to get out to the flight line. Here's actually a shot out of Toronto with Air Canada. This is actually one of our high loaders taking the trolleys and putting them up into the airplane. That's one of the smaller ones. Matter of fact, you know, when the new Airbus 380s came out, they were so big we actually had to go out and buy new high loaders because our current ones in the field wouldn't go up high enough for the Airbus 380s. So we really appreciated that. I'm telling you, that was a big investment. And here actually is in London now. We're actually using the camera on the on the mobile data collector, reading QR codes on our boxes to do inventory. So this is one of the most recent projects that we've have out in the field related to this. So barcoding. You know, we are not pushing the outer limits of barcoding at Gate. Matter of fact, we're about 10 years behind. So what we have done here is, you know, it's funny, the Zurion platform is really going to end up our global galactic barcoding platform. You know, you would think we could come up with something, you know, industrial quality, off the shelf, but we haven't been able to. So really, the mobile data collector has kind of come in the back door. All of our badges now at Gate have a QR code on them, and the main reason we're doing that now is to identify our users to the platform reliably. And to do that reliably, we've had to go to the QR codes. We have it on equipment, and this is just one of the ways that we're, you know, one of the things that have come in the back door. Where are we going to go from here on this? More integration with our ERP systems. We haven't done a whole lot up until now. That's one of the things we want to do. Integrate more with SharePoint. I want to start pushing data. We aren't really pushing anything. You know, we get a ton of data from the airlines. Flights, who, what, when, and where, flight number, passenger counts, changes. This goes on all the time. We want to be able to take that information and pump it into the mobile data collector. Haven't gone down that road yet. We want to do something more on the reporting. Z was talking about on the reporting. You know, we have a global BI team. We've got 150 plus IT people. We really haven't put a lot of resources into reporting and really haven't wanted to. We've been waiting for you guys to come up with a solution. Maybe now, after 5 years, we're going to hear about that, I hope. We would love to have a solution for that. If not, at some point, we will move into our global BI team. They will take over the reporting, but at this point, that's kind of off in the sunset a little bit. The latest thing we're going to do here is, and let me go right over to this next slide here, and then I'll come back to talk a little bit about, at the end, about our relationship. I talked a little bit about the fusion of the mobile data collector with our ERP system. That's called SACS. Leveraging of the QR codes for products and employees, the Blue Therm, temperature probes, HTML directly from our ERP system into the mobile data collector. That's one of the latest things we're working on. And we're also working on doing displays on our shop floor. Big Jumbotron TVs hooked to iPads to actually display data in real time as we collect it from the mobile data collector. That's one we're working on now that we're pretty excited about. All of these things on here are going to be global. I mean, these have the potential to go global, used in all of our flight kitchens that will be standardized using our SACS ERP solution. And this is just a couple quick examples here of where we're using the barcoding out in production now, on the badges, on our batch seats that we use in production, on our materials as they come in the door, putting QR codes on them, and on the meal assembly check sheets that we actually use out in the flight kitchens. If anybody thinks that doing food for airplanes is simple or not complex, they're 100% wrong. It is extraordinarily complex. And working with the airlines is not an easy. They're a very tough customer to work with. They will argue over pits in olives. You know, how much can they save if you take the pit out of the olive per meal kind of stuff. I mean, really, that's the kind of customer the airlines are. It's very complex. Okay, what does Zurion do for Gate? They do all of our forms. Very early on, we decided that we really didn't want to, you know, even though it's relatively easy to do forms, we wanted them done by the experts. And so we very early on decided to use Zurion to do all our forms. We think it's a great solution. and at a great price, and we get a lot for our money. And we have no intention of bringing form design in-house at this time. They do special projects for us. They did a workflow for us. They also did the integration of the Blue Therm temperature probes onto the platform. So they do special things for us at times. They come to our workshops. Tony has been to our workshops down in Atlanta. We had a workshop there last year. Earlier this year, we had a workshop in Hong Kong, and Tony and the team joined us in Hong Kong. And we consider them an integral part of our MDC team and have for a number of years now. One of the things that we're working on now, and hopefully we'll get signed this week, is really we're bringing Zurion on board to do our level 2 help desk. Basically, we have a global level 1 help desk that's located here, there, and everywhere that does initial triage for MDC calls. And hopefully with this, Tony and his team will be doing our level 2 escalation from our level 1 help desk. So at that point, we've got our own level 1 and then level 2, and they're already doing level 3 in projects for us. So we're putting a lot of eggs in one basket with this, but we're really very excited about having this, which has been a hole for us, handled now by Zurion. Okay, working with Zurion, you got to have the pluses and the minuses, right? Mm-hmm. So in this case, I have no minuses. I have a couple neutrals, but no minuses. So we'll start off with the neutrals here. Neutrals, reporting. I'm not going to beat that horse any longer because I know we're going to have some exciting news this afternoon from Z on reporting that's going to handle that. So I didn't have time to change my slide here. I'm sorry. So license administration, we solved our own problem with the license administration, but for us, with a lot of users on this thing and a lot of movement, trying to keep track of licenses, how many, are they coming, are they going, are they using them, aren't they using them, was a complete hassle for us. And so doing our own front end for licenses using SharePoint and then getting an unlimited license so we're never going to hit a million bazillion users, so I'm not worried about it now. To me, those were our big issues, our big hot buttons. What are the positives? Ability to leverage the experts. And I say this seriously, worked with a lot of IT companies for 33 years of doing IT now, and the accessibility that we've had to the Zurion team has really been great. And it has really been something that has helped us grow this platform in a relatively short period of time, and something we wish we had from all of our vendors, to tell you the truth. They seem generally interested in our business. We've had a number of their folks out. We've taken them to our flight kitchens here and there, and they seem generally interested from Z on down about learning what we do and how they can help us do it better. And so that has been really important to us. Continue to innovate. I think I don't have to tell you all about that because we hear about it on a regular basis. They are expanding their product line, and that's important. Clearly, this company is continuing to move forward and come up with cool stuff for us to play with. So I think that's cool. And I think last but not least, clearly, we aren't your biggest customer, and we realize that. And that's fine. We want to get bigger, but I think the most important thing is that you treat us as if we were. And to me, that it means everything. I tell a lot of people, and a lot of the people I work for at Gate, that if all of our vendors treated us the same way as Zurion does, our life would be a lot easier. And so I mean that seriously. I want to thank Z and his guys. This has not been an easy journey for us, but it's something that we have found that our users in the field really like. They want this kind of technology out there. We had very little in our flight kitchens. We have young people, we have old people, we have people that speak every language that you can imagine. and this is a platform that I spend a lot of time going out in the flight kitchens, talking to people with this. Everybody's interested in the mobile data collecting platforms and wants a baseball cap. So anyway, that is the journey we've had. I know I'm a tad over time. Does anybody have any questions?